The first day of school is supposed to be nerve-wracking. For most new students, it's about trying to fit in, learning the rhythm of the hallways, and hoping to find a friendly face. But for 16-year-old Aisha, her first day at Crestwood High wasn't just nerve-wracking, it was dangerous. The moment she stepped into the crowded hallway, whispers started. Her long black braids swung behind her back as she walked, her dark eyes scanning the unfamiliar faces. She wasn't wearing the latest fashion or the perfect makeup like many of the other girls, just a simple navy hoodie, jeans, and worn-in sneakers. She kept her head high, but there was something about the way she moved, something precise and controlled, that hinted she was not someone to be underestimated. A group of boys leaning against the lockers noticed her immediately. At the center of them was Shane, the self-appointed king of Crestwood High. Broad-shouldered, smug smile, the kind of guy who thought the world was his stage. His two closest friends, Rick and Mason, laughed at everything he said, even when it wasn't funny. Shane noticed Aisha walking past without giving him a glance, and that alone irritated him. "She thinks she's better than us," he muttered to Rick. "Let's see if she can handle a little welcome." By lunchtime, rumors had already started swirling. "The new girl's weird, she barely talks, she's from somewhere dangerous." None of them were true, but gossip spreads fast when you're new. It was in the courtyard that it happened. Aisha was sitting alone at a stone bench, quietly eating the sandwich she'd packed herself. Shane and his crew strolled over, their shadows falling across her lunch. "Hey, new girl," Shane said, his tone dripping with mockery. "You didn't say hi this morning. That's rude." Aisha looked up, her expression calm. "I didn't know I was supposed to." That earned a laugh from Mason. Rick grinned, sensing a show. Shane's smirk widened, but there was a spark of annoyance in his eyes. "Well," Shane said, stepping closer, "I guess you need a lesson in respect." He lifted his hand, clearly aiming to slap her cheek slow enough that his friends could enjoy the moment. But that hand never connected. In a blur so fast they barely saw it, Aisha's left arm came up, catching Shane's wrist mid-swing. She twisted it just enough to make him gasp, then stepped sideways, using his own momentum to force him to stumble forward. It wasn't violent, just controlled, precise, and humiliating. "What the?" Rick blurted out. Mason's jaw dropped. Shane pulled his arm back, shaking it, his face red. Aisha stood, still calm. "Where I come from," she said softly, "you don't put your hands on people unless you're ready for what comes next." There was no threat in her voice, just certainty. And that scared them more than any loud comeback ever could. Word spread like wildfire. By the end of the day, everyone knew about the new girl who flipped Shane. Some students whispered about it with admiration, others with disbelief. But Shane's pride was wounded, and that meant trouble. The next few weeks were tense. Shane avoided confronting her directly, but he wasn't done. He spread rumors, turned some classmates against her, and made sure she was left out of group projects. The isolation was suffocating. Even though she could defend herself physically, the emotional strain of being constantly targeted was harder to bear. Aisha thought about keeping her head down until graduation, but she remembered her father's words from years ago: "Strength is not just in the body, Aisha. It's in standing for what's right, even when it's easier to walk away." Her opportunity came during the school's charity sports day. The entire student body gathered for games and competitions. One event was a martial arts demonstration by a local dojo. The instructor, an older man with a kind smile, invited volunteers. Shane smirked when Aisha stepped forward. But when the demonstration began, the crowd saw another side of her. Her movements were fluid, precise, and disciplined. Every strike, every block, every controlled throw was a statement: "I am not a victim. I am not afraid." By the time the demonstration ended, students who had avoided her before now approached with wide eyes and hesitant smiles. "That was amazing," one girl said. "You could teach a class here." "Shane?" He stayed in the back, silent, his earlier bravado nowhere to be seen. In the weeks that followed, Aisha began helping others who were being picked on, not with violence, but with confidence. She showed them how to stand tall, speak clearly, and refuse to give bullies the reaction they wanted. Slowly, the tide turned. The students of Crestwood began to realize that kindness, once seen as weakness, was actually the strongest force they had. And one day, as she was leaving school, a younger boy ran up to her. "Thanks," he said quietly, "for helping me when they tried to mess with me. You're kind of a hero." Aisha smiled, her braid swaying behind her as she walked away. She didn't feel like a hero. She just knew she was living by her father's words, strong in body, stronger in heart. Message to viewers. Friends, this story isn't just about fighting back, it's about standing up for yourself and others, with courage and integrity. Bullies thrive on fear, but when you refuse to give them that power, you inspire change. If you've ever faced a bully, or helped someone who has, I want to hear your story. Share it in the comments below, I read every single one. Your words might inspire someone else to find their courage. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Be Kind Always for more powerful, inspiring stories every week. Together, we can make kindness stronger than fear.